excited to be here today with Miss Ashley Willis. Ashley and I know each other through Elevated Agent, but we worked with her to do some custom work years ago, and we have kept in contact. And Miss Ashley has done some amazing things since we've last talked, and I can't wait to dive into what all of those successes have been. So, welcome, Ashley. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi, Kelly. Thank you so much for having me on. This is so much fun, and I'm just so thrilled that you wanted to talk to me today.
Okay, so I want you to tell me more about your history in real estate to begin with. Like, tell me where it began and tell me
Yeah.
where that passion for you, where it was rooted and how it was rooted.
Well, it's so funny because to really start this story, I really have to go back to my childhood. It's just so funny, like as an adult, like you think about, wow, the things I love now are the things that I loved when I was younger. And I grew up in a family that built homes. My dad built the house that we lived in throughout my childhood. We had bricklayers in my family, electricians, plumbers. And so I kind of just grew up in this surrounding of knowing how homes are built. My dad would take me into the basement of our home and show me how he built the house. And so I kind of just grew up with this love of homes. I even joke with people. I remember being 6, 7 years old, and instead of coloring in a coloring book, my sister and I would have blank sheets of paper and we would draw out floor plans. And so I grew up loving homes. I knew that something I would do one day would be something around homes. I went to college for interior design, and it I knew that it was something that I kind of wanted to do, but I wasn't really sure. And against my parents' wishes, I ended up dropping out my second year and got my real estate license. So I was 21. It was 2007. We all know it happened that following year. So it wasn't really the best time to get into real estate, but that was kind of where my journey started. And I started in with a new home construction company and sat in a model home and realized instead of waiting for people to come to me, I wanted to go out and reach people. So I got my real estate license, and that was kind of the beginning.
Okay, so I get this question a lot. You were in Texas, right?
Yes. Well, I wasn't in Texas then.
Where were you then?
So that I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and I lived in St. Louis till I was 25. I met my husband there. It's kind of funny because he ended up taking a job in Sugarland after his residency, Sugarland, Texas. And so we got married. And then 2 days later, we packed up my car and we moved to Texas.
And he is not in the real estate industry, correct?
No, he's not. Nope.
You guys moved to Texas, you know nobody. So this is the question that I get all the time is how do I get my foot in the door with a new construction builder? So how did you do it? Tell us how you
You
did
know,
it.
so that really kind of varies because right now I live in Beaumont. We ended up moving. So I've done this twice now. So when we moved to Sugarland, I didn't know anyone. I got into real estate. The thing about Sugarland was the building was crazy there, and so there was so many opportunities of new construction, and I felt very confident in that space just because of my knowledge of new construction and the interior design world as well. Because when I would talk to potential buyers, I would tell them, "Hey, look, I'll go to the design center with you and help you make your selections," because I learned very quickly that that was something that a lot of people needed help with.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was an added service that was a benefit to my clients.
Hmm.
Um, but there would, it's just about going out and talking to people. I would make it a point to stop at different communities, stop at different model homes, and just talk with the sales counselors there and just ask them, like, what can I help you with?
That's a
And
great.
I think sometimes they were like shocked. They're like, what do you mean you want to help us? And I'm like, absolutely, I want to help you. Like, all
Yeah,
good things happen
give
when
what
we
they
work
need to know.
together. Yeah. Yeah. And so it was just a matter of just making those connections. And I haven't lived in Sugar Land, gosh, no, 7 years. And I still have relationships with a lot of those new home salespeople.
That's awesome.
We're friends on Facebook, and we'll catch up. And so
That's
I'm
great
so
for
thankful
referrals too.
for, yes, yes. And so it's been a journey, but I'm so thankful for the relationships that I've made with people.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that because that truly is a question I get all the time. Because I've also worked in new construction and builders are just a different breed.
They are. They
Yeah.
are. And you'll run into situations where it's not always the best.
Yeah.
There's some that want to cut you out of the deal, but for the most part, they want to support their family. They want to work with you. They want you to bring your buyers to them, and so they know that it's better when you have a great connection.
Absolutely. Take us back into your story and let's keep going.
I didn't know anyone. I love meeting people and I love talking to people. And so I was just every weekend I was doing open houses. I was going to all the realtor meetings and just meeting people and join the junior league, and it was just a matter of like, well, I don't know anyone, so I need to just go out and just start meeting people. I ended up having one of my most successful years. I made a goal to sell 24 homes in 1 year, and I ended up selling 24. And I was in the top 20 in my office, and it was just a really awesome moment just because I really pushed myself, set a goal, and went after it. And after that, I ended up getting pregnant with my son. And shortly thereafter, my husband came to me and said, "Hey, I think I need to go somewhere else for his career." We ended up moving to Beaumont, and I had to start all over again.
But
So,
thankfully, you have a career that does allow that. It's
you
hard.
know,
It stinks.
yes. And I also tell agents all the time, of anyone getting into this business, that it has been the biggest blessing in my life, as far as I have had years where, I worked really, really hard, and I was able to do that. And, you can make as much money as you want in this business. But it also was there for me too when I was a new mom, had no family around us in town, and maybe sold 2 or 3 homes a year. And so my business has just done this, but it's also been in flux of my family life, because my son, my husband, my household always is number one to me. And
That's such
I'm
a good
so
perspective.
thankful.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I really had a hard time because going off of that super high year, all the recognition, being the top in the office, like you get that, like, it's almost like that hustler mentality that you get
Mhm.
wrapped up into. And I got sucked into that so hard, and I always thought, like, I've got to keep up with that. Like, I can't go down because then it looks like I'm failing. And so when we moved, you know, life just changed so drastically for me. I kind of was like lost. And it really took me a little while to really figure out that um it doesn't have to you don't have to be the hustler all the time, and there's other things that are so much more important. And it kind of is just like a wake up call. And so now what I love is I've tailored my business to work with the clients I want to work with. They get the utmost attention from me. I'm able to make their experience so much better, and I'm so much happier.
Yep.
And because the hustle part, it was wearing me down. It's
Yeah.
because
I always
I didn't even have a transaction coordinator at that time. I did it all on my own. So I'm like, what
I
was
know.
I thinking?
I always say that busyness is a drug. And
Uh-huh.
if you are
Yeah.
on that drug, it takes time to detox from that.
Yeah.
We tend to always go back to our to-do list and our busyness because truly our escape from our life if we need it to be too. And so now how many years ago was that?
When we moved to Beaumont,
Yeah.
7 years.
So your son is now 7?
He's 8.
Okay, so
Yep.
8. Okay. So
Hmm.
in the last 7 years, have you tried to rebuild your real estate business there? Have you done it on a smaller scale?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really just been on a smaller scale. And one thing that I was, had my hustling business, I was always making it a point to go to, at the time I was with Keller Williams. And so I would go to every single family reunion. I'd go to the mega camps. I would connect with other agents online. And so I had all these referral agents across the country. And so when I moved, I let everyone know, like, hey, I'm still in real estate. I'm just in a different area. And I will tell you that I do not do any marketing in my business. It has primarily been referrals. And because there's not really a ton of agents in this area that are really active with agent to agent referrals.
Yeah.
And so that has been a big blessing.
I think it's so interesting that your parents did something really right at some point, just because knowing you and your sister, like they instilled a networking ideology in you and your sister because there's no way you guys could be where you are now without a very strong networking like mentality. And I'm hearing that over and over in your story. And so I just want to be like, that's so cool that like your parents did something along the way that really resonated. So now what I kind of want to lead into is why you're here is this amazing book that you are the author of. And I want to share all about it. I want to know how you got from the real estate mom and wife to I want to write a book. And I think I want it to be about real estate. Like take me on that
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah. So it's really funny because it actually stems back again to my childhood. So my grandfather owned a printing company in St. Louis. And growing up, he would have these baskets of books in his living room. And it wasn't like Bernstein Bears and, all these, childhood books. It was like just these little random books. A lot of them were about certain science things. And we would look at these and we're like, where are these from? And he was like, I printed those. And so I just remember like having a conversation with him about, people will write books on their own and they have them printed at my company. And so I don't, I always kind of had like this little idea in my head of, oh gosh, it would be so fun to write a children's book. And throughout my life, like it just would like keep popping up from time to time of, yeah, that would still be a lot of fun to do. And so fast forward to it was 2021 and we were in COVID time. And I was actually sitting right where I'm sitting now. And I was working on a contract or something. And it just came to my mind again of, I'd really love to write a children's book. And I kind of just thought to myself, you know what? I should probably start looking into that. I'd really be maybe a good time to start just learning about the process, what it would take, like, am I even capable of doing this? And so the big question is well, what do I write about? Because children's books, you can write about anything. And so, I kind of, and I'm sitting here by myself, just kind of just thinking to myself, and it's like, well, where do good ideas come from? Because I always think of like Elf on the Shelf. Whoever
Yeah.
came up with that idea, it's brilliant. Like, where did that come from? And so, I just was like, you know what? Good ideas. come from God. And I sat here and I prayed and I said, God, I know you will give me a great idea. It may be tomorrow, it may be another 10 years from now. But I know at the time when I get that idea that I know it will be what I'm supposed to do. And I just kind of left it at that. And it was about a year later, sitting in this exact same spot, working on something, not even thinking about the book. And it was just such a surreal moment, Kelly. It's like this just idea just like came down in my head. It was like it blocked everything else I was thinking about.
Oh,
And
I
it was
love
you.
that.
I know it honestly is such like a surreal moment. I'll never forget it. And the message was you are supposed to write a children's book about real estate, a family buying a home. And I started laughing. I feel so
Were
bad.
you like,
I
duh?
I feel so bad that I laughed when I got this idea. And I laughed and I was like, surely there are thousands of books about this same topic. And so I quickly, pull over my computer and I'm looking on Amazon, I'm looking on Barnes and Noble, and there's really nothing. And that just like completely stunned me. There are a few books. The Bernstein Bears moving book, I think, is the most popular,
Yep,
you know,
I have that one.
and yeah. And so I was just like, wow, like I'm really shocked that no one's had this idea. So I just was like, you know what? That's my idea. We're rolling with it.
I love it. I love it because the children are such a main focus of every move. I think it's a
Yeah.
genius idea because it's not
Yeah.
only like helps the kids, but I think it helps the parents too. Like if the parents feel like the kids are good with it, they feel better.
Yeah. And I with being in the real estate world for 16 years, I've worked with a lot of families with children and I just it's like sometimes, it's like, oh, you don't want the kids to come to the showings. You don't want the kids to do this. You don't really want them to see what's going on. And I actually really want to change that because I think we should be involving our
Mhm.
kids in this process. One, it's the
I
biggest
agree.
purchase you're going to make. Our kids are watching us every single day. And I think that, the more we can teach them and show them and show them just how important a home is, like this is such an important process. And, we hope that they um, strive to have their own home that they own one day and do this exact same thing. And I really want to see a change with that. And I hope that this book kind of helps bridge adults with children and through this process.
Absolutely. I agree. I think that's such a great point. I love that. We have I've tried to brainstorm some really fun ways to like include kids in the process. And I came up with this idea of a like a reward business card that you get at places where they stamp it. And you could do a
Uh-huh.
fun thing where it's like if you get 5 stamps and you get some sort of treat, or
Yeah.
something like that. I
Yeah.
think it's really I think you do kind of have to gamify it a little bit for kids to make
Sure.
them like have a little bit of fun with it. But once you can do that, I love that. And I also will say that as like when I was prospecting for clients and stuff, that was like my number one trick was to always remember their children's names and then to say it back to people because they love that. People love
They
it when
do.
they can remember kids or pets.
100%. And it's just a way to connect.
Yes.
And as real estate agents, I think we're always trying to, stand out in the crowd and
Yep.
really create memorable experiences for our clients. And I really think that this book will do just that.
I agree. Do you have it right there with you? You want to hold it up?
I do.
I love it. Okay, so let's talk about the artwork. Are you the illustrator
Yeah.
too?
Oh, goodness, no.
I didn't
Goodness,
think
no.
so.
So I wrote the book. This is the house
Yes.
hunt. My illustrator, Amy, she lives in Canada. Funny story,
Awesome.
I actually found her on Instagram.
Oh, that's
And
so
yeah,
fun.
yeah, it's just so funny. Like, whenever I was going through this process, I'm just like, well, I'm gonna have to find an illustrator. And I started like looking on Instagram, and because it's so easy to like find these artists with hashtags, and
Yeah.
I came across her profile, and I just like, I'd look at other ones and I would keep coming back to her profile. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna reach out to her and see if she'd be interested. And I hope she says yes, because there's no one else
And she
that I
did.
really
It
was like
was
drawn to
meant to
their art.
be. I
Yeah,
love
it
that.
really was. And so I'm really proud of this book, because one of the things that I am really big on is quality. And so it is a hardcover book. It does have a dust jacket. Um, the illustrations are absolutely beautiful. But one little fun thing that I included, um, inside the jacket sleeve, it says that you can take off the jacket and you can take a picture with your family. Let me show you what's inside here. And it's a "We love our home
Oh my
banner."
gosh,
Yeah.
I love that.
So they can take a picture, and they can tag
Oh,
Welcome Home Press on Instagram, and tag their real estate agent. And uh so that was the fun little extra. But
oh,
really,
I
the
love that, Ashley. That is awesome. What an amazing idea. What an awesome idea.
but really, the story, it's just about a family. It's they are looking for a new home, and they go and see many different houses, and it's kind of fun. They pick out certain features that kind of stick out to children. I don't want to give away the whole story, but it's just kind of just processes feelings of moving, and it's a really darling story.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so is it on sale now or is it on pre-sale?
It is. It is
Okay.
on sale. Well, it's on sale, but we're in pre-order. So you can place your order today, and then as soon as my shipment comes in, which will be in late March, early April, orders will ship the way they came in. So it
I
should,
think this would be a great thing to order 5 or 10 of them and have them for all of your new buyers that have young children, because then it's like
yeah,
you start out with it with them. Like you're
yep.
giving the parents the presentation for buyers and you're giving the kids the book. And I just think that goes so perfect together.
There's a 60-page activity book
That is
also
so cool.
that we designed and created. And that one, it has coloring pages from the house hunt book. It has mazes, word searches.
Oh,
There's
nice.
a kid contract. There's a design your new room. It has all these prompts that the child can, write where they're currently living, where they're going to move. They can draw a picture of their new house. There's so many activities in it. The activity book was really kind of an afterthought, and it's become one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really cute. So, kind of what I suggest to agents is to buy just one of these books for the family. And then if they have, let's say, 2 or 3 kids, give each child an activity book, because then they can, kind of have their own little book that they can work in.
Yeah.
And I also did a memory match game.
Okay. What is this? Oh, got it. Oh,
And
how
so
fun. And they're all the different houses.
they're all different illustrations oh, sorry,
Oh, that's
from the
so
book.
cute.
Um, and so this is a really cute game. I mean, I even love playing memory match games.
I do too.
Um,
Why is that?
but this is really great. Like, if I've been actually sharing this a lot with title companies, because whenever kids will come into the closing
Mhm.
table, they need something to do, and they can play a memory match game.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and so it's just kind of a really cute little add-on. So the 3 items, they make a great gift. Bundled together, it's just right around $40 for
Oh,
the
wow, that's
for the
awesome.
bunch of 3. So
Yeah.
it's such an easy gift. And I do want to share one other thing that I did. so when I knew that I would be marketing this to real estate agents, we always want to market these things and make it our own. And so what I did was I designed a label template that can be customized in Canva. And so what you can do is whenever you purchase these books, you'll get the template, and it can be customized with your headshot, with
That is
your
so awesome.
logo, your information, and then you can have them printed and put inside the book.
That's awesome. So how do they connect
Yeah.
it to the book? Is
So
there like
there's like label paper, like you can have it
Oh,
printed.
right. Hello,
Yeah.
Kelly. Yeah, so you would print it on a
Yeah.
label and then
Yeah.
stick it
So
in the
you just print it on a label, and you can even,
book.
through, print shop, or even just the labels that you find at the store.
Yeah, that is such you thought of everything. I
I
love it.
tried.
You did awesome. That is amazing, and that is a huge undertaking. Like, you did that from start to finish, and you should be so proud of yourself because that's a lot. That's a big project.
I'm really proud. I'm really proud of it. But I will say it has been the most fun thing I've ever done. And I've always been more creative growing up, and I feel like I haven't been able to like have an outlet of
Yes.
creativity in such a long time. And so this really just like opened up something that I haven't done in such a long time, and it's been such a blessing to me personally, to our family. I'm really excited. My son Ethan, I've really told him like this is a family business, and so he already knows that he's got to help with shipping and
I love that.
selling, and he's part of the business.
Yep. Yep. I do the same thing with my kids. And I
Uh
think it's
huh.
smart, because and I've noticed that since I started doing that with them as little babies, they have kind of grown into their own little entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
intrapreneurs in our own family, I guess. But it has been neat to see them grow with that as a childhood instead of I don't feel like our generation really had that as much.
Uh huh.
Our parents weren't
Yeah.
as entrepreneurial thinking like we are these days. But
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how he grows with that knowledge and kind of how he applies it to his life too, because he's going to do something big with it.
I hope so.
I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today.
Oh.
Where do people go to find it?
Yeah, so originally I was thinking about putting this on Amazon, but now I really want this to be very exclusive for agents. I want it to really stand out to their clients, and so I have a website that you can purchase it from. It's www.welcomehomepress.com, and all of the items are there, available for purchase. And we also do have agent bundles. You do get a discount if you buy them in packs of 10, 25, or 50. And so
Oh,
there's incremental discounts for that. And then if anyone is looking to purchase more, you can always email me at ashley@welcomehomepress.com, and we can discuss further discounts for bigger bulk.
that is awesome. I'm also going to include all of that information in the description of this video and also in the email that I'm going to send out. So I am so
Thank
excited. I can't wait to
you.
send it. I think it's going to be such a blessing to so many families and agents. I
Yeah.
thank you for bringing this product to our market.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you so much for having me on. It's such a pleasure to talk with you, and can't wait to do it again.
I agree. Well, I hope you have a great afternoon and I will talk to you soon.
You too, Kelly. Thank you.